All right, friends. Well, welcome to the Boogie Percent race we're doing here for the CHRM. Trying to help out a good person stuck in a bad situation, playing a game that's awesome. For those of you who aren't familiar with this run, Boogie Percent is it's kind of like a 25% run of Earthbound, just going through the first few sections of the game. It's a really cool race category and a great introduction for the whole speed run if you're interested in that. But just with the condensed length, it makes it a little bit more raceable. So we've been seeing a lot of popularity from this from the Earthbound Super Series. Been a lot of fun for that. I just recently got into the game, so I'm going to do my best to keep up with these guys because they've. I'm pretty sure they're all pretty much dwarfing my PB for this, but we're going to have some fun with it anyway. Looks like we're just about ready to get things going here.
Cool. I can read off some donations while we're waiting. We have a $10 donation from Iron Hyena. First stream I ever engaged with. Ceriam is a solid dude, great community, and my favorite stream to watch. He even came to support me on my channel as well. Hope everything comes together for you, bud. And F Hurricane RNG. Hell yeah. Got another $20 donation from Caillou. The suspect is hatless, repeat hatless. So I think we met that incentive for Mario 64. Wisconsin Cheesy with $20. Hi, Ceriam, miss you, bud. Hope to see you streaming again soon. Um, and then X Nolan X, I think that's how you say that. $20 donation. Truly inspiring to see all the support. Thanks for the coordinators, restreamers, runners, donators, everything else. Let's go. And we got Cheaty Face for $20. This to go even further. Biyabi. And Mr. Giggles with a $50 donation. It's amazing to see the speedrunning community come together to help out one of their own. A huge shout out to Waldo for organizing this and making people aware. Hell yeah. This marathon is so far has been great, despite Waldo outing himself as one of our robot overlords. Yeah, that kind of sucks. Best of luck to Ceriam on recovering from the hurricane, and hope everyone has a great weekend enjoying the marathon. Much love, Mr. Giggles. And was it till you die from it? $5. Siri, hope you can rebuild. All right, and that's all the donations we got for now.
Right on. Well, it sounds like we should get this party started then. All right, the first part of this game, before they get things started, it's there's a little bit of exposition here right at the beginning, just kind of building up the story. So you're going to see pretty much identical routes from everybody here for the first 4 minutes or so. Couple of the main things we're going to be seeing divergence from. There's a lot of RNG in this run, so depending on their luck in a few situations, we can see some small to large divides in each of the different runners' routes, as it were. They're all going to be doing more or less the same techniques. I don't believe there's going to be any RMG manipulation involved in this run. There generally isn't for Boogie Percent, but I'm not entirely sure. They might just be playing it by the seat of their pants. So, like I said, we're hoping to see a pretty competitive run, but it depends on what the game wants to give them. These are all very talented individuals, and I think we're going to see some pretty tight races. No worries. Um, so we've got some pretty cool tech in this run. You're going to be seeing a lot of what we call stutter stepping. It's based on certain enemies' AI only activates when your D-pad is pressed. So there's a few enemies in the game that we're going to be seeing that we can actually just kind of skip past by doing this carefully timed stepping mechanic. So you'll see them kind of going herky jerky through the first foothills here coming up, and that's just to get around some enemies without having to fight them. Regardless of how easy the enemy, any fight is going to take you at least 20 or 30 seconds, and that adds up pretty quickly when the run is only a little over an hour generally. There's a few spots that could be affected by lucky drops. Not very many of them. It's mostly just serves to get a faster time. But if one of the racers gets lucky, we could see a little bit of a breakaway here at the beginning. But there's all kinds of things that are up in the air right now, and I don't want to try to pound all this information into everybody's head. So we're just going to let the race do the talking, and I'm just going to try to fill in the blanks, as it were.
Got a couple more donations that actually came in that I could read off. We have $10 from Phased on Night. Wasn't able to help out with the run, so let's do a race instead. Thanks, Waldo, for stepping up, and I hope this all can help Siri recover from the damage to his area. Siri Love really first. Sorry, John. And then we got $5 from QR. I think I'm saying that right. And it just says, "Good luck, dude." So I'd mentioned the Mario 64 no hat run. I guess it's lose the hat in the desert. I'm looking at these other goals here for Final Fantasy IV. We got Forge the Crystal Seed. That goal's been met. We got a one-handed run for Super Mario Brothers. Ducky Robot and Delta Ruin, and we did X2. Let's see what's going on with these bid wars here. Looks like a Link to the Past randomizer. All dungeons is currently winning over Crystal Dungeons only. Metroid Zero Mission. Yeah, we got that $10 for Ridley first. And then Super Metroid, we are still saving the animals right now. No one's voting to kill the animals today. Pretty interesting.
Yep, give me just a hot second. We'll get that going. All right, I got that channel going up right now. Yes, sir. Ah, crap. Forgot I can't see it through live split. I got 2 of the 3 in here right now. All right, we're going to kick things off. All right, so like I was saying, we're going to get a little bit of a flyover of Onet, the first town here. You're not going to be seeing much different from the 3 runners right here at the beginning. The first 5 minutes is all pretty much scripted. We're just kind of building the scene. So the whole first section of this game, it's a little RNG heavy, just depending on the way the animals play out. But the actual times, even with really bad luck, aren't going to be. They're not going to swing all that much. So we shouldn't see too much divergence here right at the beginning. The first boss battle, so to speak, is entirely scripted. We don't actually have to do anything. There's just the only RNG factor in that is how long the fight's going to take. So we're just going to kind of see what happens here. The whole idea is just kind of getting Ness out of his pajamas and out into the world, letting you figure out how the game plays. So we're just going to watch these guys progress to the initial part of the story. I'll try to stay out of the way for the most part. Our first little detour here, they're going to go and pick up the cracked bat. That's our first weapon. You can't actually get out of the house the second time without the bat equipped. So they're just going to go ahead and do that right away to get things started. It's not something you want to forget and have to go back for. All right, this is our first appearance of Pokey, everybody's favorite person. Not really. He's actually kind of a big jerk. So we're fortunately not going to be seeing too much of him in this category. We're treated to blissfully little of his obnoxious attitude. So this is going to be the most we will see of him here in the next 10 minutes. No actual enemy encounters to worry about here. Just trying to get you through and get you learning a little bit about the story. Try to build that set of objectives in your head. Right now, we're just heading back to bed. Mom doesn't want us out this late. I hear some obnoxious knocking on the door in the background. Wonder who that could be. Sure, the subtlety wasn't lost on anyone. It's Pokey. Pokey, being the fine big brother that he is, somehow managed to lose his little brother here, and he's coming to us, our friend that he just scolded and sent running down the hill in his pajamas to come and help him find his little brother. So we're going to talk to Mom here real quick, so she'll actually let us out of the house again, and then we're going to be on with our adventure. At this point, we're going to be taking off with Pokey, but not before we get a phone call from Dad. Gotta see what's up to in his world. One of the different mechanics of this game that you'd see from other RPGs is all of the money is deposited right into a bank account by our dad based on the enemies you fight and how much experience you have. Generally, I'm not sure if it actually donates it after each battle. It might just be after you level, but you don't make a whole heck of a lot of shopping trips in this run. We'll only be seeing most likely 3 stops, depending on how healing items hold up. So not a whole lot to be seen for that in this run. But inventory management in the full glitchless run or the glitched categories are definitely super high priority. Your inventory space is very limited in comparison to most other JRPGs. Uh-oh, looks like we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. We got Hyrulehero here at the top of the hill. He's about to have an encounter with all of our favorite friends from the past and the future, Buzz. Buzz has ridden this meteor to alert us to the difficulties happening in the future, inform us that we are the only ones who can stop it from happening. Very vague here at the beginning. Just kind of points out Ness, doesn't necessarily specify anyone else. 3 boys and a girl. Foreshadowing for the future. So we've got Hyrulehero taking a little bit of a lead here. kkraes got a little hung up with some enemy spawns on the hill. He did a good job of despawning them, so we didn't have to worry about enemy encounters really wrecking anything for anybody. But we are seeing about a 15-20 second divergence here right now. It's going to be our first pseudo boss battle here, Starman Jr. Basically, we are going to auto fight and watch Buzz do all the work as we mash our way through text. Fortunately, Buzz is a boss. He comes equipped with high-level shield, psi points. So he's going to be making sure that we can't take any damage from anything and swinging for the fences at Starman Jr. There's 3 different things Starman could do. He could defend, which is optimal, because that doesn't do anything to us, and the text very quickly to scroll through. His freeze ability only targets one of our party members, so we only have to go through that one little dialogue, and then the fire hits everybody. So Buzz will replenish the shield when you take damage to it, but if it doesn't take any damage, you can just watch Buzz go to town on Starman Jr. future style. So we got Hyrulehero already getting through that Starman Jr. fight. He's on a very nice pace to start off with. Pokey's dad, being the pleasant gentleman that he always is, would like us if we would kindly leave soon. No, Buzz Buzz! Got Buzz Buzz's final words at the party. Unfortunately, we will not be seeing any more of our friend. Our meeting was so short, we will miss him so. Alright, we got Hyrulehero venturing out into the world at this point, where the real run starts. We're going to be making one quick pit stop here to get a key item that will facilitate the rest of our shopping here early in the run. We're going to get the world's most expensive baseball cap from one of our young friends. Not the greatest judgment on the behalf of his parents, but whatever. It is what it is. So the Mr. Baseball Cap is a nice item, but the difference in defense points that it gives us is not as valuable as the $100 that it is worth. So we're going to be decking ourselves out, courtesy of our friend, and we're not going to tell him we sold his baseball cap. Make a quick stop for our trash burger here. Can't afford a hamburger, just go steal one from the dumpster. Video game logic at its finest. We're gonna take 50 bucks out here, it looks like. Gonna be buying the T-ball bat to upgrade our offense. We're gonna be buying the baseball cap to downgrade our defense but upgrade our wallets. And then we're gonna be getting the cheap bracelet to help us out there. Next segment is kind of cool. It's we're going to be seeing a very specific walking path. This is going to help despawn the enemies outside of the arcade. Ideally, we're only going to have to fight 3 encounters before our next boss here, just to get ourselves some extra healing items and make sure that we get to the level we need by Frankenstein. So we're going to be taking the fight here with this Pogo Punk. He's going to drop us a hamburger. Hopefully he doesn't rile us too much. Nice quick fight there. Pogo Punk's friend is not happy that we just beat him up. That's alright, we'll take his lunch too. Looks like we got CHRM back in the mix. No worries, no problems. It's going to be running a little bit behind. We'll match up the times at the end. We have the tools and the technology. Yes Man Jr. here is not much of a threat. His biggest weapon is his hula hoop, and he doesn't even like to use it all that much. This is Frank. This is actually a pretty dangerous boss. Sometimes he just won't want to cooperate. He's got 2 different attacks where he'll come out swinging, which does small to medium damage. He'll brandish a knife, which is what we don't want to see. That does big to big damage. And if he just starts doing that all the time, he can suck through all of your healing items and whatever life up spells you have. So Hyrulehero got a nice quick fight there. He'll be moving on to Frankenstein with a good amount of health, loaded up with his PP. This is a very scripted fight. He'll generate steam, and then his first attack will always be a weak one. Then after that, he'll generate steam and alternate that in attacking, whether it be a weak or a strong attack. So as long as you stay up on your healing, it's a pretty safe fight with the way we have it set up. We got Hyrulehero out of the Frankie fights. 13 minutes flat, very nice. kkraes going into his Frank fight. We'll see how it treats him. Meanwhile, we got CHRM just picking up Pokey. Hyrulehero's going to dip back out for a free heal from Frank here. Very useful. You can also heal for free back at your own house. Your mom will feed you steak and put you to bed, but you have a photo trigger you have to deal with, as well as walking all the way back there. So we just skip over that entirely, and we'll take the free heal from Frank. Looks like kkraes is getting pretty unlucky with the damage rolls on Frank there, but managed to survive. That fight does boost your level, and it gives you enough PP to use at least one more life up again against Frankenstein, so a little bit of extra safety there. We do have the burgers that we started off with from fighting those pogo punks and from the trash can outside the burger shop. I can't recall seeing it, but there is also a bread roll on the hill where we pick up Picky. We'll usually grab that on the way back down for a safety item, but not everybody does. It's not always necessary, but sometimes in a race scenario, you'll just want to have all those little extra backups just in case. So Hyrulehero just went and picked up the key to the entertainer's shack from the Mayor Perkle of Onet. Doesn't want to take responsibility for anything, but he'll just give a key to an unattended miner. That's fine. Hyrulehero is going to be making another shopping trip here. He's going to go withdraw pretty much all of the money that he has, and he's going to load his backpack up with burgers. It's going to set us up for the next 2 boss fights, hopefully, if everything goes according to plan. We'll only have to make 1 shopping trip out of this. If Giant Step goes really, really south, you can always stop by and pick up a couple extra healing items for the following boss fight, but we'll keep our fingers crossed we don't have to see the store again. So Giant Step can be a little bit tricky. This is going to be the first and only grind of this run. We're going to be trying to fight a whole bunch of slugs. Hyrulehero got a slug pack right off the bat, which is great. We need to fight 22 of these little buggers to get us up to level 8. That's going to unlock our first offensive ability, which will give us a chance to hit everything on the screen for a decent amount of damage at our current level. So it's gonna make the boss fight coming up actually possible, for one, without just relying on dumb luck. And if we end up getting stuck in a fight with some dangerous enemies, we can usually get our way out of it quickly. We got kkraes on the way to his shopping excursion, and we got CHRM. Looks like just picked up Buzz. Hyrulehero getting a little trolled with the enemy spawns here. The enemy spawn tiles, once you learn where they are, you can kind of manipulate them, so if you don't get the spawn you want, you can despawn it pretty quickly and then try for another roll on a new set of enemies. Got a little stuck there and ended up having to use the door to transition for it. Pincer attacks are a real dangerous thing in this run, just because we are running at such low level. We don't have a whole lot of margin for error, and we don't want to be making extra trips for healing items, so we're hopefully not going to be seeing any extra encounters besides these slugs. The Rowdy Mouse has a high tendency to smash attack for quite a bit of damage. And then the Black Antoids that we may or may not be seeing on the 2nd and 3rd floor can call for help, which is real bad news for us, especially until we get that offensive Psi ability. Got the 1 slug pack. That's a nice instant kill. If your offense is high enough and you only get 1 enemy encounter, if you can kill them in 1 shot, the game will often just let you finish the fight without ever having to go into the menu. Pretty nice little time save. This is one of the biggest time swings in the run. Depending on how quickly you can get these slug fights, can really make or break a great pace for a run. It can take anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes pretty easily going section, and then you still have the boss fight to get through, which can also be pretty tricky. Seeing some pretty nice stutter stepping to get away from these mouse encounters. They're one of the enemies that'll come at you super aggro, but only if your D-pad is pressed down. All of the enemies in this cave are actually stutterable, so if we really wanted to, we wouldn't necessarily need to fight anything. But that would leave us at a super low level and probably unable to finish this dungeon. I see a lot of runners taking care of the majority of the grind here on the first floor. The main reason for that is you only have to worry about the slugs and the rowdy mouse. The second floor introduces the antoids, which have the same enemy sprite as the slugs do and can make it kind of tricky to discern between the two of them. And just with the antoids being as dangerous as they are at our current state, we just rather not have to deal with them. I've kind of lost count of where their slug grind is at, but it doesn't look like either of them have real huge spreads in luck. I do believe kkraes has made up a little bit of time here, though. Looks like Hyrulehero's just got probably one more encounter to deal with to get his level 8. Ooh, the slug and the ant. It's going to be a little bit tricky. If you get rid of the antoid quickly, it won't be that big of a deal, but if the antoid has a chance to call for help and succeeds, it can get pretty squirrely. That will generate a nice amount of experience for him, so looks like still not quite enough for level 8 yet. Another slug and ant pack. Pretty interesting spawn. Not having too much trouble with the antoids. Nice to see. Alright, so that's his level 8 marker there. We're looking to see if he got 24 offense. Ideally, that's what we like to see, at least 24 offense on Nest, because that would give us a chance to one-hit kill the black antoids if we can get them in a single pack, which saves us the trouble of having to despawn them or stutter around them. 2 can still be pretty dangerous, but it's a little bit safer at level 8 just because you do have access to the rockin' ability. We're trying to maintain all of the psychic points that we have for the boss, because he does have the chance to drain some of our psychic points, and we really need all of the rockins we can for Titanic Ant. The Hyrulehero is just going to stutter his way past this group. This last room can be pretty tricky. Ooh, it looks like he spawned right on top of that antoid. There's not a whole lot of room to maneuver in that last room before the ropes. The antoids can kind of hide on the terrain a little bit, so it can make them pretty hard to see when they're standing right on top of that rock on the ground. With being this close to the boss, we want to ideally have as many healing items as we can, have our max PP, and we want Nest to be at his fullest HP we can. So we'll usually heal up from that free butterfly outside before we come in here and try to not get into any encounters that are going to do us damage before the boss. We're gonna see a first turn rockin' from Hyrulehero here. That's to take out the 2 black Antoids behind Titanic Ant. They do have the life up ability, so they can heal him, which makes this fight a lot more difficult to deal with. And also, they can still call for help. So we just want to isolate Titanic Ant and deal with him head on. Looks like Hyrulehero got some pretty big damage rolls from Titanic Ant there. He was able to mash his way through. The rolling HP counter is kind of cool, where if you can heal yourself before you actually take the last hit point of mortal damage, you can avoid dying altogether, and it'll put you back up where you should be after the healing item. So that gets abused pretty heavily throughout this run when we're on low HP and trying to get through some tricky spots, where if you can finish off the enemy or you can heal yourself before that counter rolls out, you won't have to worry about taking death. We got kkraes coming up to his Titanic Ant fight. Hyrulehero just finishing it up. 14 hit points left to spare. No worries, no problems. He's going to be getting a full heal here from the shrine. The Your Sanctuary location. Now we know why it's called Giant Step. Big foot on top of the hill. Nice call. We got StinkyDiver here working his way through the Frankenstein fight. He'll be adventuring into his shopping and slug grind here shortly. Ooh, and kkraes taking the unfortunate drop from Titanic Ant there. That's a real shame. He's gonna get stuck with Photo Guy Tricker. Everybody get your fuzzy pickles ready. In the regular glitchless run, there's only 2 or 3 mandatory photo triggers throughout the game. In the Boogey % run, we can actually avoid all of them. So, in a perfect run, you won't ever see Photo Man, but things don't always go perfect. This is a race, there's no resets, you're just going for broke. So, kkraes on the plus side, he does have, he's got a full heal on his side. He doesn't have to worry about the slug grind at this point, he just has to get back up there and lay the hurting on Ant. So, fingers crossed he'll be able to make it through the second time, no problem. So we got Hyrulehero on his way back into town after just being scolded by the police officers. They didn't like him being in this building with the sign that says no entry, even though the mayor was kind enough to give us the key and tell us to go ahead and do the thing. But the cops think otherwise, so we're going to go and speak with the police chief about why his police officers are such jerks. Picking up a couple safety burgers at the burger shop just in case. There is a chance to get burger drops coming up here, but you don't necessarily want to rely on that. Again, it's there's no resets, and a death can take quite a bit of time, especially when you've got that 20-second time sync with Photo Guy. kkraes got the bomb drop. Madness. Getting the 1 in 128 drop slug. So that's pretty fantastic. That makes the Titanic Ant fight so much less hassle. The bomb does, I think, on average, more than the rockin' ability does. I can't say for certain. I don't have the damage tables in front of me. Like I said, I'm not the most experienced person in the world, but we're going to do our best. But I know for a fact the bomb is a big bopper this early in the game. There's a reason it's a 1 in 128 drop, so that's going to make this fight a lot more manageable. Trying to work a pretty tricky stutter there between the Rowdy Mouse and the Antoids. Hyrulehero working on his cop fights. He's going to have to fight 4 of these police officers before fighting the police chief. They all have the same abilities. Their regular attack, their crushing chop, which is pretty serious. And then they do also have the chance to drop a hamburger at the end of combat. I think it's a 1 in 32 drop, but I'd have to double check that as well. So the idea is to try to keep yourself around 45 or 50 hit points, so that way if you do catch a crushing chop, you still have the chance to try to heal after that. But it can be a pretty dangerous section. If you get really unlucky with smashes and crushing chops, things can go south in a hurry. Coming up on the last cop fight, we want to make sure we have as much health as possible at the end of this fight, just in case Captain Strong comes out strong, pun intended. How about that? His special attack can do over 50 hit points worth of damage, really put us in a bad way if he starts chaining those together, where we might just not have enough chance to catch up with our healing. So we want to go into the fight with as much health as possible, and ideally we'll just rock him twice and not have to worry about Strong ever again. So Captain Strong lost his temper. It's pretty much a dead turn there at the beginning, which is great. You don't have to worry about any healing. You can just keep bashing your way through it. I was able to take him out with 2 Rockins. That's great. There's a very small chance that a Rockin could fail, so we don't want to be seeing that, especially in a race category. Those things can get ugly really fast. And that will be the end of O-Net for Hyrulehero. A nice low 30 O-Net time. Very, very good. Got kkraes cleaning up the Titanic Ant with the help of that bomb. Got CHRM working his way through his slug grind here. Hyrulehero taking the opportunity to grab a couple of butterflies. Heal himself up to full. Working his way around some enemy spawns. We've got an extra hamburger here in this package. We're going to take that, if not for safety, for a necessary event that we have coming up here shortly. Ooh, very, very tricky. And the red swirl. So the Antoids aren't as big of a threat now that we have Rockin', but these shrooms can really throw a wrench in the works. If you get mushroomized, it really makes... Oh boy. There we go. I had to open my big mouth. Ooh, and we got call for help too. This game. So Hyrulehero taking an unfortunate death from that red swirl. So that gives all of the enemies a preemptive attack. You got mushroomized right off the bat, which is terrible. It messes with your controls. It makes Ness act funny in combat, and things just get super, super awkward. There are ways to get rid of it. There's a weird dude at the hospital who will buy it from you because he likes dudes with mushrooms on their heads. There's a lady over in Peaceful Rest who will take it off your hands, but the death will actually take care of all of that for us. So, Hyrulehero gonna get stuck talking to Mom. We're gonna have another visit from Photo Guy here, so get your fuzzy pickles ready in chat. I'm happy to see the chat brought their pun game with them today. I really appreciate that. You guys are the best. There's no time in the world for puns. What are we all doing here? Ooh, kkraes taking the crushing cops too. Pretty rough start here. The game's been pretty brutal to the runners so far. So a real tricky spot to take a death to, so we're going to see if he needs to restock himself on burgers before he goes back into the cop battles again. Unfortunately, you have to fight all of the cops over. And Hyrulehero almost getting stuck in the same trap that he did last time. I think he's just going to dip out and respawn. One of the hardest parts of the run to manage is the enemy spawns. There's really not a whole lot you can do about it except deal with them when they come. So you can lose a lot of time just trying to respawn rooms or scroll them off the screen so you can try to respawn either an empty tile or a weaker enemy. So having good knowledge of the enemies comes into play huge when you're doing races like these. Just knowing if things go south, what can you get away with? So you'll see, we've seen already Hyrulehero taking a few risks here that have paid off, and unfortunately got stuck in a bad situation. kkraes working his way back to the cop fights. Like I said, that's a real rough death to take, but not the end of the world by any means. There's lots of ways to recover. I believe we should have StinkyDiver cleaning up Giant Step here pretty quickly. I believe he's on his way up to Ant at this point. Hyrulehero avoiding the angry blue police officer here in Tucson. Go visit our friend Apple Kid. Everyone's favorite disorganized inventor. And his pet mouse. Name to be defined later. We're gonna hook up Apple Kid with that hamburger we picked up from the box on the way to Tucson. Gonna give him $200 to help fund his experiments. We're just very generous at the ripe age of whatever we are. Money means nothing to us. We're selling $100 ball caps, withdrawing hundreds of dollars at a whim. The cave we see Hyrulehero in can be a little bit tricky at times with enemy spawns. Just enough room there for him to despawn that mobile sprout, but there could be a lot of time lost respawning these rooms, trying to even just get into the second room. So not too trolly there. Nice to see him get through it quickly. Peaceful Rest Valley is a terrifying, terrifying place. It is neither peaceful nor restful. The valley part, I guess, there's a river in it. We can call that a valley. It's low. But the enemy spawns in here, they're fast, they move erratically, they can wipe you out in a matter of 2 turns, and a red swirl here can more or less just be death. So, very, very tricky section. Hopefully we will see as little of it as possible. And if everything goes according to plan, once we get through here, we won't have to see it again. But first, we need a key item to get through a mysterious pencil-shaped iron statue in the middle of the path. Because who hasn't had that problem before? So kkraes made it through his cop fights. Very frustrating section of battles. Even if not taking the death, it can just lose you a lot of time having to stop and heal, and just really maintaining your health points carefully and trying to pay attention to the amount of healing items you have. So a lot of places, the game will just not cooperate with you and leave you in an unwinnable situation. So being able to get out of that, very, very nice recovery. Still lots of room to make up time. And Tucson is lousy with enemy spawns for Hyrulehero today. just one of the quirks of this game. You can go several runs without ever seeing an enemy spawn in Tucson, to the point where you'll forget they're even there, and then just one day you'll have 4 packs of guys chasing you down the street. It's kind of a nightmare sometimes, but that's the nature of the RNG. Ooh, Stinky Diver getting hosed there. The rockin' not working on Titanic Ant. He's gonna have to be real careful to make his way through this fight successfully. Fortunately, the magnet ability took the rest of his PP, so he has no life up to fully heal himself. The hamburgers do a great job, but if Titanic Ant starts getting some smashes, things get weird. So we're hoping to see as many magnets and shields out of Titanic Ant as possible here. Upon further reflection, I should probably figure out a better way to word a few of these things. So we're seeing firsthand on Hyrulehero's screen why Peaceful Rest Valley is such a terrible place to be. A lot of narrow passages, a lot of terrain to get stuck on, and some pretty tricky enemy spawn. Right here is a pretty nasty spot for pincers. It can be very tricky if you get guys on both sides of you to be able to despawn even one of the packs. So very, very careful movement is required, and knowing the enemy's aggro radius is key. Angry trees, alien robots, UFOs. The mobile sprouts don't seem so dangerous compared to all of that other stuff. They're dangerous too. Real tough spot on this hill there. Hung up for a little while, but that's typical luck for Peaceful Rest. Didn't get stuck in any terrible fights, so that's good to see. These snakes are kind of weird. Generally they'll run away, but every now and again you'll find one superhero snake who just wants to take you on. It's not a threat whatsoever, just a bit of a time sink. They like to hide right in front of the door, so you can't avoid them. Bit of a pain. So Hyrulehero is going to be taking another quick shopping trip in Happy Village. Going to be upgrading our offense a little bit with the Sandlot Bat. Going to be picking up a Holmes hat for a little extra safety. Depending on the amount of healing items you have, you might also pick up a croissant or two here, but not always necessary. Just kind of runner's preference, that little extra bit of safety. This cave can be pretty tricky. Not seeing anything here on Hyrulehero's screen right now, but the cultists in Happy are actually scripted to be unrunnable. They can be big pains, so we don't want to see any of those, because if we end up burning through too many of our healing items or too much of our magic, the next fight that we have to do that we can't avoid can be very, very dangerous. Kkraes having some fun on the bicycle over here. It's our next appearance of Pokey. We hate this guy. This is the main reason we don't want to get any other encounters on the way to the shack, because we do have to fight these 2 insane cultists and this one stupid crow. His dumb sunglasses looking cool. The cultists can be pretty dangerous because, like the black antoids, they can also call for help. So one cultist can quickly turn into 5 over the course of 20 minutes and just kind of ruin your day. So not an unwinnable fight by any means, but it can be more of a pain than is really necessary. So making pretty quick work of them. Rockin' is your friend there. Ideally, you would see it wipe out everything in one shot and you would just move on, but the nature of the damage rolls doesn't always work out that way. So we didn't see any extra cultists, and that is good enough in my book. We got kkraes having fun with mushroom percent over here. It's not a big hindrance if you don't get into any battles. The D-pad inputs, I'm not sure exactly the time difference, but they will change which direction each D-pad input does over in certain intervals. So while right might be right now, it might be left in 20 seconds. So if we see some interesting movement strats, that's probably why. You'll be able to get rid of that mushroom here shortly. The foraging girl and peaceful rest will help us out. Everybody get your fuzzy pickles ready in chat. We've got CHRM paying a visit home. Trickiest part of this is trying to get yourself in position to actually talk to the foraging girl. But we're going to get an extra 50 bucks out of the deal, so that's nice. Hyrulehero making his way through the laggiest room in the game. No issues with the mandatory cultist fight there. It's another place where you can end up getting having one encounter turn into a 5-way battle, and that's just a nightmare going into this boss fight. Car Painter is another highly scripted boss fight. It's a little bit more complicated than Frankenstein's, but the lightning ability that he casts has a 25% chance to get reflected on him, so it is actually possible to get a first-round kill if you get lucky there, and the damage rolls are high enough. But mostly we're going to wait until after his second turn when he life ups, and then we're going to start going to town with the rockin' ability and hitting him with our baseball bat. Very effective combat. Hopefully we'll see Car Painter do a little bit of work to himself, but not really helping us out here so far. Not a terribly difficult fight unless you get super unlucky with rolls, as long as you manage your hit points right. But the goal at the end of this fight is to leave with as little health as possible, because we are going to set up a death warp. The save that was taken back in Tucson's department store when we withdrawed money to give to Apple Kid was to set ourselves up so we can actually, once we go and pick up Paula, we'll take a quick death, and that'll actually warp us all the way back to Tucson with all of our progress intact. So at that point, we'll just have to go and revive Paula and be on our merry way. kkraes dealing with a mobile sprout. We got CHRM working on his cop fights here. kkraes dealing with some unfortunate enemy spawns here in Peaceful Rest, as tends to happen. Ooh, getting red swirled by the mobile sprout as well. So the magnet there is a dead turn, which is